Hey folks, welcome to Playing in Traffic. Today's episode is coming from the Marietta, Georgia area, probably more specifically Kennesaw Mountain. And I'm going to say about 12 years ago, I remember being in Atlanta for, just basically for vacation. And, at the time, Call of Duty, was a big game. I played a lot of it too. I played Call of Duty a lot. I love Call of Duty. And this was back, we were playing the zombies on it. We were also playing, this was like the original game, like Call of Duty World at War. My son was playing a ton of Call of Duty, who by the way is now with the U.S. Army. So those 12 years ago, I decided to bring him here. Right here to the Kennesaw Mountain National Park, and this is the battlefield right here that we're talking about from the Civil War. And I decided to bring him here to have a conversation about war. So instead of just like turning it on TV and strategizing how to penetrate the enemy in Call of Duty, I decided to show him something really authentic, and that was to bring him to an actual battlefield. And there's areas in this national park that, in my opinion, are crucial if you're having a conversation like that, especially with your kids. And I'm sure historians love this area too as well, because there's a lot of what I would call history, but even more importantly, the area also tells a story about the humanity of war, and it's a lot of things to wrap your mind around. And I think that's what we're going to attempt to do today with this video, show you around a little bit at the Kennesaw Mountain National Battlefield. See if we can get a vibe. I'm pretty sure someone out there is going to get a vibe. Oh, a very strong one. Just to start, it's true beauty up here. I mean, the pictures alone will really, oh my goodness. So here's a little 360 from this little vantage point that I have. Hello to Braxy B. It's breathtaking, okay? Birds are up here at their altitude, hawks just sit, oh my goodness, the whole thing's absolutely gorgeous array of tree, the paths, the vistas, these high points. Matter of fact, we actually drove up to this parking lot that's up top up here, and that alone has amazing vistas. Driver's side is just absolutely like wow. Kind of takes me back to being on the Pacific Coast Highway and kind of looking down or looking sideways and seeing, well, in that case it was probably 400 or 500, 600 feet above sea level. This, I'm not exactly sure how high. It's easily explained why a battlefield, as crazy as it seems, took place up here, because this was a crucial stronghold for the Confederate Army at the time, because of their ability up here to see everything around them, perched above everyone else. So when the Union Army came to this area, they were going to fight literally and figuratively an uphill battle getting up here. and battling, okay? Because the Confederate Army was well aware of this area and their ability to canvass and control so much below them and see so much that was going on. There was one point, I did see that there's a marker up ahead of us that showed what this mountain looked like 300,000, I think it was 300,000 years prior to the Civil War. And at that point it was taller than a Rocky Mountain. So with the erosion over those hundreds of thousands of years, it definitely chopped a big piece of the top of that off. Let me show you this angle right here. So off in the distance is the one and only Atlanta, Georgia. And there's so many areas that are referenced, obviously Atlanta being one of them, when it came to defeating the South in the Civil War. So many key areas, and Atlanta is absolutely one of them. Well, here we are approaching the double cannons, and let's go check out. There's the one right here, and then you go up there, and right here. That was is that the one you're talking about? So two of them right here. So it is mentioned, and there's this, at least the fourth cannon that we've seen on this pit trail right here to the left. And it is noted here that there was one spot where the Confederate Army had blasted a water tower on a railroad. But outside of that, between they said that the cannonades inflicted little damage on either side. Most of the real damage here was when that water tower was hit. And the Confederates fired at the 1st Minnesota battery on Brushy Mountain 1 mile north. The rebel gunners were pounded by the Northerners' accurate long-range rifled guns. Yeah, you see there's definitely a lot of these cannons perched, 3 or 4 right along this path, and that path gets increasingly more steep. So their position looked pretty strong, but damage inflicted was little damage. So Atlanta was also such a monster hub during the Civil War, leading up to the Civil War. Major weapons arsenal was there for the Confederate Army, along with a major part of their army as well. So the Kennesaw Mountain, which is where we're at right now, looking at Atlanta, was a spot where the Confederate Army took up residence, hoping to draw the Union's army, a large part of the Union's army, up onto this hill to battle. And that's exactly what they did. I'm trying to get some details on that. And what the heck is it? It must be a mountain of some sort here too. Let's see what the heck that is. I'm not really sure. You know, I'm the new guy around here, but that looks pretty massive. I realize I'm not in the best shape, but just to know people were running around up here, you know, feeding these cannons. I'm sure there was hand-to-hand combat here as well, but just to that kind. And God knows what. Look at the elevation right here on this trail. This is something else. And I do remember being up here a little over a decade ago, But we're headed down to the base and the site of a massive battle, and probably one of my favorite features of Kennesaw Mountain National Park, which is called the Earthen Works. And that is I remember that being very gripping for me last time I was here. But look at this, straight up. All right, let's shut this off so I can breathe. Interestingly, I don't know, there was a whole lot more below us. You know what I mean? There was a whole lot more below us where we stopped. So the thought of that was a pretty good little trek. Yeah. But you know what? If you were hitting this hill, like this was your workout, you'll be motoring around pretty quick after a while. But we're still going uphill. And most of these people, including the one gentleman, I don't know if you saw him that went past us.
Yeah, with the hike sticks.
Yes. So he struck me to be about late 60s at the earliest, or at the youngest. And he was on his 9th loop through today, well, at least according to him. Walkers to be on the right side, which is, you know, they prefer. That's about it. 15, I'm not. Yeah, folks, welcome to the drive down Kennesaw Mountain. Well, I bet you're going to be louder, and I'm leaving all this on the video.
Go ahead. I want to make the cut.
But what I'm saying, you whisper because you leave the audience wondering exactly where they're entering into. You don't go, well, there's something in the whatever you said. Ooh.
Thanks.
So,
all my sweat.
way more. Right here, we found it. A walk through the forest opened up to what I believe this is called, and as we walk up it, me and Braxy B, now of course there's going to be something up top to kind of reference what happened in this area. This was a massive battle. And my understanding is it was Confederate stronghold at the top of this hill, and I'm going to assume these different, especially the path that me and Braxy B came in on, off to the right over here, and I think there's also one off to the left. I think Union soldiers started up this hill, and there was a massive amount a massive amount of carnage all here. I kind of brought my son here. Well, one for my own, interest levels. The other was the fact that having played so much Call of Duty, it was like, well, he was 14, 13 years old, graduating 8th grade at the time. I was like, Bud, imagine, I remember saying this to him, imagine that running up this hill, which is enough, with 40 to 50 pounds of, probably more, of stuff. Because if I'm not mistaken, at the very top of this hill me and Braxy B are on currently, they stayed here for a long length of time trying to dig a tunnel under this Confederate stronghold at the top. But there was people, military people who made it to the top. Didn't die on the hill. Made it up here to attempt to plant a bomb to take out this Confederate stronghold. Wow, I cannot believe I'm breathing right. So here is what marks the tunnel that the Federal Army had. We're literally in there for 6 days. The Union Army did not have cover fire because I think everyone got kept at bay down there, except for this small group of people. It's not saying exactly how many, but then they had a 7-hour truce on June 29th. That's 1864. Where they agreed to bury the dead. It's so interesting just to think about that part. And then the Confederates quietly slipped away, forced to retreat because of the Union Army outflanked them again. Inevitably, I guess it was the numbers of it. But this stone arch was erected in 1914 to commemorate the tunnel entrance. Which I don't know how deep that goes in there, but that's what they had. They had that, intending and blowing up the whole area here. That was heavily manned by the Confederate Army. Illinois Monument. It appears like it's a memorial for the Federal Union Army. 480 killed and wounded here. June 27th, 1864. The other twist over here is and I remember, the other time that I had visited here was the earthenworks. And I believe they're very close by. Let's see what this says here. See, as you can see, this ridge that flows right through here and continues. This, folks, is known as the earthenworks. So these grooves date back to the Civil War, right? There's the marker, but they're all over around here, and of course over the course of, well, we'll be coming up on what, close to 200 years removed from the Civil War. It is against the law to to use devices here, but there's no question about it. I don't know how many feet down, because these were all trenches, very similar to what's depicted in this sign over here. And these same earthworks are also probably within here too, probably down here by that line and benches down there. You could see them right here. These would be the trenches that they were behind. And you can see right here in that meadow, right there, advancing Union Army. We're going to go down there too and see it present day. But this is what that looked like. This was the Confederate viewpoint as they looked down towards the field that the Union Army was coming up. It's kind of intense if you think about it. If you really, I mean, depending how much we think about it, right? But that was where that happened. I said hundreds of federal soldiers passed, close, well, 480 casualties and wounded, they said. So on the Illinois monument that sits right here. Now, nature, soil, okay, different erosion. They say the only thing that's really kept it protected underneath, which may also show that there are artifacts underground here, is the growth, the plant growth on top has kept what could possibly be items, maybe ammunition, maybe God knows what down there, you know, slightly protected, and they may still be there, but it is illegal. This is federal ground to be running a metal detector of any sort here. But these are the trenches, and they're all around here. They were all around here to protect the top of this frickin' mountain right here. In conclusion, on this beautiful day here in the summer of 2024, I truly appreciate the fact, I appreciate life. I appreciate getting out, breathing the fresh air, being a part of nature. But I'm also going to sit down and reflect on times that were a whole lot different than what they are now. And there was a point where this area right here was about in as much turmoil as anything on earth. And it's just wild to think that so many people lost their life right here. On a day where I can sit here and just literally just seconds ago saw a little baby deer on that path on the right side. Maybe it'll come back out for a visit. We'll see. You know, just the appreciation of life. And so Kennesaw Mountain saw close to, well, it looks like damn near close to 4,000 dead. 3,000 Union Army, 1,000 Confederate Army. Wow. Just amazing, the history of this country, not just this country, the world in general, but look at just what a day. And just, to me, it's just the fact that sun shining and the beautiful clouds and the tree line and the beautiful clouds in the background. That just puts a whole lot of things in perspective. All right, folks, I want to thank you for watching today. I'm sure you appreciate your life as well. And those that have given their lives for a better life for the rest of us. And interestingly enough, me and my son walked up that path right there that me and Braxy B just walked up 12 years ago. I was just trying to get him to imagine like a reality of war potentially. It's not just a video game, even though in a way I'm looking at him like, thank God he's playing a video game. Imagining him telling him, like, yeah, now imagine you had 40 to 50 pounds. And I feel like it was a hotter day than today. And now it's 2024, and he is in the U.S. Army, active, stationed at Fort Johnson in Louisiana. It's very, very, woo! Boy, life has a circle path at times, and it's like, wow. And he's already had his times. Heck, I've been right next to him carrying 40 to 50 pounds. It wasn't, thank God it wasn't in war, but it was, you know, part of rucking and you know, training for rucking. Well, but yeah, this has turned into a beautiful spot, and I'm happy that people get to appreciate this spot for that. All right, folks, thanks for watching. I'm on my way to 400 subscribers. I'm getting there. Tell your friends, tell your family, and most of all, tell your enemies to turn on Mikey_Heels on YouTube. Now, like, follow, and subscribe. We'll see where we go next. I think who knows where the next visit will be. I think I'm going to a baseball game, so we're going to see about that. Have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow, and see you next episode. Okay, one final angle at Cheatham Hill. We're going to see if we can get the actual good pronunciation of that. This would be the bottom. This would be the bottom of the hill, where the Union soldiers started their march to get to the top. Wow, just crazy, just the thought of it. Thought of people with their loved ones at home, knowing they're going up this hill and probably not making it to the top. Just crazy. Fast forward to now, and laughter, exercise, recreation. It's a lot of times it's just a reality check. It really is reality check. Found some treasures. I think I have the deer on. Oh yeah. Oh, it's a little. Yeah, but we found another treasure. Or I should say T.C. Braxton found it. Look at this. Look at this magical mystery of the forest.
It's genuine.
With a super low angle. Ah, bah, boy.
Look, because I'm going to put my foot next to it.
Yeah, she is. It's a magical, and I'm taking first bite, and we'll see where I end up.
Oh, okay. Well, nice knowing you.
Magic.